moving into this world apparently where all cryptocurrencies, with the exception of Bitcoin, per the SEC, are presumably securities, and if they are, then securities manipulation becomes a big thing, and I think it's quite rampant, right? In the cryptocurrency exchanges and the cryptocurrency markets. And Section 9 of the Securities Exchange Act governs securities manipulation and makes it illegal, obviously. And securities manipulation can take really four forms, but the two big ones that really apply to cryptocurrency are placing trades or distorting prices to inflate or increase or create a false sense of demand, or distorting prices through misleading public information, right? So like press releases, things of that nature, right? And so, on the first end, when you're talking about creating false demand through trading or disrupting prices through certain trades, you're talking about like spoofing, right? And on, your major exchanges, it's very easy because they are liquid, especially they're really liquid when you compare them to actual securities markets, but it's very easily done or easy to do, where you place a trade well above what the bid or ask may be, and that would disrupt the price in one way or the other. And the reality of that is it can create this sense of demand where you see a price being artificially inflated, and especially with these altcoins, right? If you look at, especially like Bittrex and others like it, you'll see the leading gainers for a particular day will be some very obscure altcoin that is moving on literally nothing, right? Like really odd volume, really out of the ordinary volume, and really no discernible reason why it would go up. That's most likely the product of some type of price manipulation and spoofing. And what I've noticed is, especially if you do the math, the average gainer, right, when you take out Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, the average gain across, and I have to give credit to my team for coming up with this, but the average gain, when you look just on Bittrex alone, when you take out the big three or the big four, including Bitcoin Cash, will trade 4 or 5 standard deviations away from its average norm on any given day. So like the leading volume getter is literally trading like 500 times greater than its average volume on any given day on Bittrex. So there's obviously massive manipulation going on in these markets, but it tends to be more in the very liquid coins, right? So you have to be watchful of that. And if that, if those altcoins, which are mostly the byproduct of an ICO, are deemed to be a security, then that's, securities fraud. And, that isn't limited to the company. That can be those individual traders who are going in there and placing those spoof trades or the like. Now, on the second level, where you've got the false or misleading information, which is huge from the world where I come from in the microcap penny stocks, is where, you're putting out press releases or, any sort of public dissemination, whether it's from the company or from an individual, that is untrue or misleading. And so, a lot of these Telegram rooms, which advertise themselves to be pump and dump rooms, I mean, arguably, if some of these tokens are deemed to be securities, whether they are now or later deemed to be, you could be participating in a securities fraud, right? And, I'm well of the set, and I've said it here in these videos countless times before, that I don't believe that every ICO token is a security. I don't think that. And, today we had yesterday we had some, some sort of acknowledgement from the SEC that not every single cryptocurrency is a security, when they particularly singled out Bitcoin as not being a security, which they should call their friends at the CFTC, who would probably tell you that it's a commodity because they told you that in 2014. But it's something to think about. We're headed in that direction, right? And I think arguably a lot of these ICO tokens do resemble securities. They do fail Howey, and they are securities, but they're past post, right? And the SEC enforcement action, to date have been more centered around the ICO, not the after effect or the aftermarket, right? And I think, eventually you're going to see that. But, and again, many of these ICO tokens aren't probably securities, but for the ones that are, you have to be wary of that. If you are, involved in trading and you are involved in creating volume for, some of these altcoins, even like a, Ripple, right? Ripple's sort of on the border. It's very liquid, so it's tougher to manipulate, but, it is funded by a company. It could be a security. You have to be wary of Section 9 because Section 9 imposes some pretty stiff penalties for market manipulation. And quite frankly, it doesn't take, a veteran trader or, some sort of quant to tell you that the majority of the cryptocurrency exchanges are ripe with market manipulation on any given day. It's just whether you're part of the manipulation or not. So something to consider and be wary about, if you're active in the markets like I am. Check me out, bitcoinlawyer.org. Hit me up with any questions and comments, or just shoot me an email. I'd be happy to answer anything for you guys. All right, I'll talk to you. Cheers.